Okay, so I'm about to start today's stream, but first I really just want to nerd out about something that I just think is fantastic. And it's Formula 1 season, so obviously, millionaires driving fancy rocket ships around in circles is on my mind certainly. And yesterday's moment at the Australian Grand Prix where Anthony Hamilton just consoled a sobbing Isaac Hadjar just really had me thinking of some of the most powerful photos in not just Formula One history, but all of sports history. But of course, we're talking Formula One here. And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I got to get this photo. I got to get a photo of this freaking image, or I'm sorry, a poster of this image, because I think this is just one of the best. So let me show it to you first with no commentary, and then I'll tell you the lore behind it and why I think it's just so fantastic. So this is Pierre Gasly after winning the 2020 Monza Grand Prix, or Italian Grand Prix. I'm sorry. Now, to those of you who aren't, in the know, I mean, I still think like that's a pretty powerful image on, in and of itself. Dude's clearly overwhelmed with emotion. There's confetti everywhere. Clearly there was some sort of celebration, and he just has his head in his hands as he's weeping. But once you know the lore behind it, it just makes the photo so much more powerful, I think. So as I mentioned, this is Pierre Gasly after winning the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. It's the first Grand Prix he has ever won in the history of his career. And I think it might be his only Grand Prix win ever. Slight spoilers. And that sort of ties into why it's such a powerful image. I mean, obviously, it's your first win. One of the great joys of Formula One is seeing a driver win a race for the first time and, the emotion that overcomes them. But with Pierre, I think there was another level behind it. So the thing is that the 2020 Formula One season was Gasly's fourth season in Formula One. He started in 2017 with a team called Toro Rosso. Now, once again, this is for people who aren't in the know. Toro Rosso is Red Bull's junior team. They've had a couple of renamings since then, but the moral of the story is Red Bull is the senior team. They're a very prestigious team, one of the greatest of all times. Max Verstappen drives for Red Bull. They had a dynasty now 15 years ago with a guy named Sebastian Vettel. They're a very prestigious team in the modern day. And they have a junior team called Toro Rosso. So Toro Rosso is where their newer talent, their younger talent comes to kind of cut their teeth in a right proper Formula One car. Because in Formula One, a lot of these drivers, they do come from like Formula 2, Formula 3, whatever, which are like kind of the minor leagues, if you will. But the thing is, like, they're going in significantly faster cars. And I remember I was watching this interview with, I want to say, like, Ollie Behrman, who was saying one of the biggest things you have to adjust to in Formula One is you're taking turns so fast. Like, the contents of your stomach slam into your side, from the G-forces and whatnot. So it's definitely a big adjustment. So it helps to have these junior teams. Red Bull's the only team that has an official junior team, but, like, Williams is kind of like Mercedes' unofficial junior team, and like Haas is kind of Ferrari's unofficial junior team. Previously it was Sauber, but whatever, these are details that don't matter. Let's get back to Pierre. So like I said, this was Pierre's fourth season in Formula One. He started in 2017 with Toro Rosso. He was racing for Toro Rosso in 2018. And then in 2019, he got the call up to go to the big team, to go to Red Bull. Now, Red Bull has a very sort of cutthroat mentality, thanks to this guy named Dr. Helmut Marko. And just the whole team culture is very cutthroat. You either perform or you get. And when Pierre was promoted, they did not give him long before they decided that, no, he wasn't really worth the investment. Halfway through the 2019 season, he got sacked in favor of this guy named Alex Albon, who's also actually just great. Seems like a super nice dude. I don't really know these people, but the personas that they project onto people. Seems like a nice guy. Anyways, that's not the point. So Pierre gets sacked from the senior team, and he is forced to go back down to the junior team. Now, I don't think you need to be an F1 expert to know that is not a good thing to happen to you. That just spells doom for your career. You get your shot at the big leagues, and if they decide that you're not it, then where's your career going to go from there? You finish out with the junior team, and then it's only a matter of time before they replace you with another new talent. So I think you can see, just based on that description, you can see the lore kind of coming up of why this photo is as good as it is, because only a little over a year after Gasly gets sacked from Red Bull, against all odds, he somehow wins the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. And the thing is that I think I left out is that, like, these cars, like well, I think it was called AlphaTauri. They renamed it, but whatever. Like, they're not good. The thing about Formula One is there's only like a certain number of cars that are like competitive to like consistently win races, and like nobody expected the AlphaTauri to win any races. Yes, it's the junior team to Red Bull, but it's like the younger brother. They get the hand-me-downs or whatever. Like, they're not getting the good stuff, and they're not a team that performs consistently. So nobody, like, first off, nobody expected him to win because he was in, as they call it, a shit box. And then, he's also Dr. Helmut Marko decided that he doesn't have the talent to compete at the highest level, and, kind of threw him away. So when just the magic happens of Monza 2020, and, against all odds, basically, through all sorts of crazy just happenstances, this guy who, like, the establishment, if you want to sound populist or whatever, decided wasn't it, goes and freaking wins it. I mean, maybe the door is just blue here, but there's like so much symbolism that I think is represented in this photo. It's just overcoming the odds. It's just, as the kids say, it's just proving the haters wrong. You know what I mean? Like, he got sacked from the major team, and then only a year later, here he is on top of the podium, spraying the champagne, and then just after all the pomp and circumstance, once he's finally given a moment to himself, he just breaks down in tears as the emotions of the moment just overwhelm him, because yes, he can do it, despite what fucking Helmut Marko says. We don't like Helmut Marko. He can pull through, he gets it done, he's a freaking winner. And, I think, it's just, who hasn't had to encounter something like that where they were doubted and then they overcome, and it's just, it's so good. It's so powerful. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. Let's start the show.